Hey everyone. So, amidst all the reshuffling things around, I decided that I would finally start doing vlogs, Pokemon Journeys, especially with Horizon's English dub coming this week and having to reshuffle things even further than that. So, like it was Sun and Moon, I'm going to be combining some um videos into one that I talk about episodes if they're connected. So let's start with the first 5 episodes, as I'm currently on my rewatch watch with Mind Boggling Dynamax, as well as talk about the characters featured in this anime. So let's begin. Even though I am not going to be going into immense detail about Enter Pikachu, I will say that it definitely has an interesting job of not only introducing Go and Chloe, and their characters to the story, but also, in a way, connecting Pikachu's origin to Ash's as he was a Pichu that also was in the forest there where he lived. So in a weird way, it's like the two of them were destined to be together there, and it shows how even at such a small formative age he had an empathic bond with them all, and also enjoy other connections it brings, and which also continues in the second part of the initial 1 hour premiere. Second episode, Legend Go and Friends Go, formally introduces is the concept of the research fellows under Professor Cerise, a colleague of Professor Oaks in Vermilion City, and even though the discourse around choosing that as a setting for the hub has been interesting over the last few years, I personally think it makes sense to me, and I also really enjoy how it works in and not only as parallels to the real world setting of Yokohama, but also so Easter eggs from the games in there as well. Oh, including like a Snorlax the Roadblock, which will continue next episode, and also the idea of a multi-battle raid against Lugia that ends up causing like a chance between Ash and Go. And in any version, even with some people dunking on that character, I've been one of his more notable defenders. I In the Japanese dub, he is voiced by Daiki Yamashita, as in Izuku Midoriya in My Hero Academia, so I can notice a lot of similarities to those two characters being studious and also wanting to better themselves, uh, but also not being afraid to display flaws at all. And in the English dub, he's voiced by Zena Robinson, up and coming voice actor I honestly really like, whose other credits include who'd Hunter in the Owl House Omar the Green Poncho and Craig of the Creek, and a host of others. I mean, even if I'm not into every single show he's been in voice acted in, he is easily the best thing about a lot of shows that I'm not into. I mean, I would say. And as for her Professor Cerise's daughter Chloe, we she may start out as reluctant, but I really like how they build her up over the course of the show, and also how Dia leaves Miami to help take care of things at Cerise Labs, being a sort of thing of a housekeeper and sort of surrogate father figure as well. Especially, I'm definitely looking forward to talking about his supporting role in the course of this one of these vlogs. Yeah. The third episode also introduces the first mission they undertake as research fellows, Ivysaur's Mysterious Tower, in which a migration of Bulbasaur and Ivysaur are seeking a means to evolve, And another Easter egg I enjoy from the games that they put in there is the one of the Machop flattening the ground for this building project they're working and that's also something they'll really get into detail over the course of these vlogs. I mean, even though they could have easily adapted had Sword and Shield directly, I think it was actually a unique approach how they made this like a Globetrotter series that incorporates elements from all the regions and say they had done up to that point. Something that the next anime continued as well, which also is kind of interesting to talk about, and hopefully they'll also follow some of the pattern where they keep getting more and more to work with. I mean, especially since I'm a bit more mixed on that one. And also introduces Team Rocket's running gag of the Pelipper Gashapon machine for their to get their monsters, which even though later on one of the ones they do catch actually is pretty cute, I would say. And even though I don't know about how the change is sticking, if they wanted to introduce other threats besides Team Rocket, that would be interesting if they ever decided to find a way to revive you know who, to say the least. The first of several whole trips to the Galar region and takes place in episode 4, settling a score bunny. Apart from having to give that porter to get the train tickets from a shave, due to some unpleasantness that was going on at the time and since they do a good job of portraying the city, which is functionally a stand-in for London, the Pokemon world. We get stand-ins for real-world landmarks like Piccadilly Circus and Trafalgar Square. Here we have cars driving left side of the road. And their first encounter with Score Bunny has them stealing some of their tea scones. I mean, could they pick a dessert that's any less British? It is to whose take? Well, maybe the spotted dick, but that's actually kind of pudding, guys. Get your head out of the gutter. Though Go befriends the Score Bunny in this episode, he doesn't actually catch us on the next one, Mind-Boggling Dynamax, in which they are assigned to who for a research mission in the wild area, and end up encountering a Snorlax who gets a blast of Galar particles. It may not be my favorite of the vintage monsters to get a Gigantamax form, but it's on that list. I mean, and also in a way gives up the vibe of the Wool Tree theory as well, and the way they have to contain the beast before the train comes through the area. Gives a sense of urgency, and stakes, as well as a plot, which is actually something I'd like to see more of in Horizons, have more of those more clearly defined. I mean, if anyone's into the new anime, I'm not going to hold it against them, but I am just not really as enthused about that right now. And so I decided to finally do these first, and that's just because of the rotation change on Netflix later this year. If you all could just put these in a complete set, so I'll have them easy to find in one place, yeah, that'd be great. So, between this and the rotation changing later this year, as well as might finally be moving this fall, I intend to go through the entire bulk of Journeys episodes I have not yet looked at in detail over the next 6 months or so, finishing sometime September, And with that in mind, I'll definitely make this a recurring feature. Her, her based on a whenever I can basis, much like I did with Sun and Moon. But given how I just managed to top off the first 5 episodes here in this video, that's not really a bad way. Just like 1 or 2 episodes a week by my accounts, at minimum. But tomorrow, well, you're definitely going to be getting a new Bad Batch vlog. So I'll see you then. Take care, everyone. To be continued.